It's all right. You still have to say it doesn't start the second I hit.
Okay.
Hi. Now we've started.
Okay.
All right, Abby Helms.
Yay!
You're an incredible vocalist.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
I genuinely love all your songs. I never skip one when it comes on.
That's really sweet.
How long have you been writing and performing?
Okay. I actually really started writing like songs on my own, and with other people back in like 2018 was really when I was like, oh, someone told me you really should just make music, and I was like, no, and I kind of was like, well, when I was a kid, I used to love rewriting lyrics to songs as like a joke, but I really liked my own lyric versions to it. So I was like, well, maybe I'll try it. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. And I kind of was in art school at the time, so I was kind of writing some stuff based on like dreams that I had too, which was a lot of paintings I was creating then were based on my dreams. And then that's kind of how the music songwriting adventure started, was there.
Why was your first reaction no? Why was you what
A no to
be? I mean, someone's like, you should think about music. You're like, no.
I think it was because I sang my whole life. I kind of grew up in the church, and it was just every single week I was doing music. I was singing on stage. It was a lot, and I just never kind of had like the confidence to go and do something outside of like the religious experience. And my parents were very like religious growing up, but they were also very supportive of the arts. They loved that they would put me in oil painting classes. They would get me vocal coaches, and so they were very supportive of the music stuff. So, but I also was like not confident. I think that was really more where it came from. So the more I worked with people, the more they were like, you're really good. You should definitely try. And I was like, all right.
When you performed in like the church environment, were you like more of an ensemble or more of is that it? Did you feel more comfortable because you were like blending in with others?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was always like my first experience really singing in the church was like the kids choir. Mm-hmm. And I remember my best friend to this day, her mom was like the choir director. And she gave me a solo in the choir, and I remember being so nervous about it, but I was like, I got this. And I was holding a little candle, and I was like, Jesus. And it was an experience, but I think through that. Yeah, you should just turn it into a really hard EDM song. But sorry. But yeah, I think that it was always kind of this group thing and experience. And I had bandmates, and then, we had like a whole worship team thing going on for many years. And that's when I picked up the guitar. I was like, I want to learn an instrument. I want to be able to write stuff. And so then I picked up guitar, and I picked up piano after having already taken like classical piano lessons and stuff when I was a kid. And then I just like really sucked at it, really sucked at it. And yeah, all my sisters do music too. My oldest sister, she's still in that stuff. She's very talented.
Do you ever write with them? Do you ever create with them? Or are you just like on completely different like spectrums of like?
We're completely different spectrums for sure. My oldest sister, actually, for my album, I was like, I want to show you something. And I showed her my song. I Think I Am was the song I released on my album. And it was a single prior to the album. And she was like, oh, I think you should do this here. And I was like, yes. So we kind of like, it was the first time we kind of just like bounced off each other's ideas, like in writing. And that was really cool.
So you're a Jersey girl at heart. I know this.
I am.
And you've been going back and forth to LA recently. What's that been like, and why the choice to start trying to branch out into LA and LA was kind of always a dream of mine. I think
as an artist, just all around, I always thought being in a different state and different environment, different types of people, would be really cool. That was always a dream. And then I really got into the music stuff, and then I was like, oh, I have a really good excuse to go. And when I decided to go, it was more because I really was getting into songwriting, and a lot of the music that I create, as you know, it's very pop driven. It's very R&B. It has a certain sound to it, and for me, it was kind of a little hard to find here in New York people who kind of make the same kind of style of music. And I was like told a lot often that, LA, I see you in LA. People say that to me all the time. They're like, I could so see you living there. You seem like you would do really well there. And I'm like, oh, it's like maybe it's a sign I should try. And the older I got, the more I was able to actually do it financially. And when we decided to go, I just was like, all right, I'm gonna just pull up and go to all these open mics. And I did. I went to a lot of open mics there, and that was really exciting. I met some cool people. There. I've continued to write with them and produce songs with them, and I ended up working with one person who wrote Unpopular Opinion on my album with me. So that was really cool. So LA was like this music dream experience.
It's funny you say that as you get older, it like kind of became easier, at least financially, because I found, so for me, my dream city is Edinburgh in Scotland. I've always wanted to live there. I've been there a million times. The longest I've lived there was a month, but I've always wanted to be like, I just want to do like at least a season of my life here.
Yeah.
But I've actually found that as I've gotten older, it's harder because you have so many more anchors to one place, I've got the studio, I've got my dog, I've got a van full of equipment, I've got, and there's so many things. I've got a partner who works on Broadway and cannot pick up and move to Edinburgh, right?
Right.
So it's funny. Do you find, I don't know, that you just have less anchors right now, or is it that the anchors you do have are like just so willing to? Because I know you're married.
Yes.
And you have a dog.
I have a dog, and I have a cat.
Yeah, okay, shout out Kat.
Cat Salem.
That's a cat, Salem. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Shout out Salem. And so, yeah, is it just that he's like, whatever you want, like we're gonna support this dream, or
basically?
Yeah.
He's we've been together for like 11 years. It's crazy, a long time. We met when we were really young. But his job basically after 2020 happened became virtual, and so he like. I feel like he's never stepped foot back into an office ever again.
I love that. I love that for him. And
I know it's nice. Like if we had a house, it'd be really nice.
I know. Actually, when I took the first call with you ever, he was in the background on a business call, and you two were like competing for like audio. And I'll never forget. He was like in the back. He was talking about some like sound like finance or something.
Like, sir.
Yeah, it sounded important. And you were like with your headphones. You were like this.
It's like totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a running joke in the house, but yeah. So after he became, he started working for a company that was based in Spain, and so they were just like, "Well, you're in New York, and you can kind of travel wherever you want." So like we went and lived in Spain for a month. It was really weird,
Recently?
and I loved it. This was back. Like when I like released Someone So or Delusional Confidence, like 2024, something like that. And so because of that experience, and he does sales, so it's very, up and down financially, but very, you could do whatever you want. I don't know. He kind of loved that, and we kind of embraced that for the past couple of years. And he just switched into a different career, and it's still virtual.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, let's go.
Hell yeah, bro.
Let's go back to LA. Why not?
Yeah, what is that experience like for you when you pick up and move to Spain? Like, is it, as an artist, are you like, okay, I'm gonna, like, what does your day look like? Are you just like wandering around and using that as inspiration? Or are you finding open mics while you're there? Or like, what does that look like for you?
So when I went to Spain, it was very, like, I just want to escape. And at the time I was literally writing Delusional Confidence. So I was recording it. I brought all of my equipment with me.
TSA loved you.
Yeah, no. When I tell you I had the worst nightmare coming back from France, my worst nightmare. I had all of my equipment in my hard drives in my little carry-on, and then they took it and they opened everything and they're like, sus. And I was like, why? Cool. And then they're like, you know what?
You should have been like, play track number 4.
I was like, guys, you haven't heard the song yet.
Yeah.
And then they just took it and threw it onto the like checked in stuff, and I was crying. Like for like half the 7-hour flight, I was crying. And then this other person was like, you know what? I saw them throw it. And I just started bawling because I spent so much work on all my vocals, on my background vocals for Delusional Confidence. And which recently someone was like, it's AI. I was like, hell no. But yeah.
So you had fun in Spain?
I had so much fun in Spain.
So you had a lot of inspo in Spain.
So much inspiration.
Actually, if you think that was bad, I won't tell this whole story because I don't want to derail the pod here. But I was going through China. I wasn't even stopping. It was just like a stopover.
Oh, no.
And my friend Gabby, we were going to Thailand. She had her camera, her audio recorder, her microphones, her like you name it. The batteries. Oh my God. And they lost. Chinese TSA is like hardcore, bro. That is like government shit. Like the way that they detained us and were interrogating us in like broken Chinese too, and they were just screaming. Like we were like ready to cry. We were like, it's a battery. It's a battery for a Canon DSLR.
Trying to explain it to them.
It's a 5D. It does 60K. Yeah.
I'm crying. Wow.
So do you feel like, speaking about LA, do you feel like it's just the next natural step in a music career? Or, I mean, do you feel like you have a community there already if you were to like make that leap, or would you be starting from scratch?
You know, I do. I feel like I have one friend there who, his name's Horns. He's a really talented rapper and stuff, and he works closely with TDE, and there's quite a network there that I can definitely tap into. And as an artist, like I want to keep making music. I want to keep doing that stuff, and I got really into songwriting. So with him, I would love to go back and do more songwriting if I can. But for me right now, I'm not seeing it as something that's like, I gotta go. I need to go right now. Last year, it was very much that. This year, because things kind of took a turn, and my husband switched jobs, and it became so that we literally couldn't go. So we were supposed to go, and then we just ended up no, and we're very last minute planners. So of course, it didn't work out. But
wait,
yeah.
He's supposed to be the type A one if he's in like sales or something. Like oh God, it's just two like ADHD people just like trying their best. The dog is like begging to go outside.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so sad. I'd be like, I'm almost done with this 3-stack background vocal. Leave me alone. Yeah, that's how it goes. No, there's a good balance, but it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But it's good. I'm happy to be home right now with my family and stuff.
I'm happy you're here because we got to bring you in. We got to bring you in. So you did a Seawall session with us, and it was a unique one because unlike a lot of the sessions we do, there was a live audience, and it was in a boxing ring.
It was.
So what was that experience like for you? Because this was months ago, and we never got to even like debrief or anything after that.
Like, that experience was so fun for me. I have to say, for me, it took my performing skills to a new level. This was a very unique experience because I was able to listen back to everything. And you guys actually released the footage and the audio, and it was crisp and clear audio, which
Shout out Michael.
Never really get. Michael. And And so when I was performing, it was really nice to have like this cute little crowd around me with the lightings. It was just such a vibe that I felt very comfortable performing, and I wasn't super, super, super nervous, which sometimes I get really nervous. And so that kind of environment made it so I didn't feel crazy nervous. You know what I mean? So
I was really, I mean, I think everyone was really impressed by how confident you seemed. I guess that's like your whole thing, isn't it? But
I'm just faking it.
yeah,
So, yeah.
but till you make it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, actually your husband came up to like buy a beer or something, and my girlfriend was working the register.
Love it.
And and I happened to walk up at the same time, and he was like, "Hey, can I have this drink?" And I was like, "Wait, you're Abby's husband, right?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Just take the drink, just take the drink." And she was like, "What do you mean? That's $3. Like, you got it." She was like, "We're trying to make money here,
Hello.
Steph. Like, you pay for it." And I was like, "Chill out." He bought a ticket. He brought like 5 people. He
brought like 5 people, including his mom, by the way.
Yeah, but I remember it was just such a you remember like Everybody Hates Chris, like the dad. That's how I felt I was at the moment.
Dead.
She's like, "That beer is $3.50.
I'm dead.
I'm like, shut up. But then I had to like be like, he's really sweet and supportive. Like, he can have a beer. It wasn't even his first one.
No, he wasn't.
He paid for the others.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to that experience, did you know what to expect? Like, do you feel like you knew what you were walking into, or did you show up and you were like, oh, what the hell?
No. I really did not know what to expect. It was our first time working together.
Yeah.
And our Zoom call, you were like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I was like, okay. And then I showed up and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. The lighting, all of it got me a little nervous. When I first walked in, I was like, oh my God, this is business. This means business. And then I got over it because everyone was so nice. I got to talking to some people, even after the set. It was so nice to talk to everyone, and everyone was so sweet to me, and I think about it. I think about it in my dreams often.
Well, I do have to ask, so we had a jib there, which if you don't know, that was like the crane, the camera that was like traveling on the long crane.
Oh.
I was going to ask, was that like distracting for you at all? Because like my fun fact is that, so I was operating that crane and I had 2 goals. Aside from getting good footage, one goal was to not distract the performers while I was like sweeping this massive 16-foot crane in front of them. But 2 was that I had to not knock out an audience member. Because people kept, so like we tried to like make like a zone that was like, don't sit in this zone, right?
Oh.
But people who came in late just like saw an empty spot and they would like sneak in. And then like there were a couple times I would be like slowly moving the camera and someone would just like pop up to like get a drink or something, and I would be like, no.
You can't like scream mid performance.
Yeah, like
no.
You're like, yeah. I'm like, shut up, sit down.
Carry on, Abby, carry on.
Yeah. So like, sounds like you didn't even notice it was there though, so I succeeded.
No, it was so smooth because, and I'm remembering it because I remember the videos and the photos that you sent and everything, that you were literally like with this giant thing, and now I'm like mid-performance. It was
Perfect.
Just another person in the crowd.
Because there were multiple times that I had to have like an assistant who would like go to the audience members and be like, get down. Yeah.
Like, push them.
And also I had to be like, but be low key. I can't have her like distracted mid-performance.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
So you played that show with Nate, your guitarist, and who's also produced for you. Do you do most of your shows with him, or is it usually solo?
Sometimes I do shows. Back when I was doing So Far a lot, I would get him to do shows with me, and then I had one of his friends who's another guitarist. Like, I don't know, I just bounce around between musicians. It's fun. But he's like my go-to, he's like my ride or die in the music world. I've known him since high school. Nice. Like, he was the one who was like, we should do covers together. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. So we would just do like Celine Dion covers or like Ariana Grande covers.
Why did you start with Celine Dion? Like, what the hell?
I don't know. wait, fun fact. I'll tell you this. My talent show, the first talent show I did that he forced me to do against my will. No, I'm joking. He produced a Defying Gravity track, so I could sing it for the talent show.
I like how you followed up with Defying, because
Defying.
he produced Defying Gravity, the Defying Gravity, and I was like, did he?
Version, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was epic, to say the least.
It's awesome. Have you done any full band performances? Or are you trying to, or do you find yourself more like living in that more intimate space right now?
You know, it's funny because my very first performance I ever did in New York was at Pianos. And my really good friend, Oliver, who's a pianist, he's incredibly, insanely good. He's more like a jazz pianist. I started my performances with him, and then he had some jazz band friends. So like pianist, guitarist, not guitarist, like bassist, and then drummer. And so we kind of started doing like a lot of shows and stuff together, but it was very different than the sound of what I was actually creating. So I kind of wanted to strip it back a bit, and then I started just like guitar. Like I really love guitar because it's my first instrument, and I was like, what if I just did like really nice acoustic versions or stripped back versions of my songs? And at some point when I was at So Far, I did perform to tracks and whatnot, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I love live music, so I did that, and I did a show for Major Stage once, and I did that with Nat and a drummer, and we actually had in-ears, a click track, and we did it. They played the instruments on top of the actual track of the song. So that was the most like legit performance for like a pop R&B artist.
I don't think it makes you any more or less legit at all. But do you generally prefer playing shows right now, or are you much more in the zone of just like grinding out in the studio? Like where's your focus at right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would love to perform. I just discovered that I really like making music. So I became a little obsessed with production and learning how to produce. And I kind of got that obsession from trying to really create an album that had the sound that I wanted and that kind of gave the message that I wanted to deliver of like my 20s. Like this, hard love, laugh, sadness, like crazy stuff that I went through. And I was like, I feel like the only person who can really get that in sonically for me was through me producing it. And so like there's like little things like the interlude or detached and the outro to the album and like softer stuff that felt very, very personal.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Are you still in your 20s, or is this a retrospective?
Oh my God. What do you think?
I feel like I'm going to get it wrong no matter what. I mean, I don't know. I'll give you like 29.
Okay, I guess fine. I'm 31.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, 94?
Yeah.
94 babies over here.
Oh my God, no way. Aries.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. April baby.
Okay, I'm a Leo. I'm in August.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I'm like, Leos, and I get along. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, I don't know anything about all that stuff.
Me
So whenever
neither.
people like say a thing,
I only
I'm
know
like,
my friends.
Yeah. Whenever people say a thing, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, totally.
It's like the third podcast.
This is the third. Yeah, this is the third time someone's been like, Saggy rising moon.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I just know I'm fiery.
But that being said,
Yeah.
because if it's a retrospective, or is it that you started the project in your 20s?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I was writing this album. A lot of the songs I had like literally like are in my burn folder, I call it. There's a lot of songs in there I did not release that I had written over the past, I guess, 7 years of making music, like really writing and on my own. And there were a couple of songs that I put in the album that I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be in there. And like 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I wrote a song called I Wish with this songwriter, Gaia Mignon, and and then I was like, it's gonna be on my album. And then like 3 years later, I was like, oh my God, I wonder if she's like, when she ever released that song? Definitely not. And then I was thinking that song was so a part of what I was going through at that time. And I was like, damn, a lot of these songs are just like from my 20s and growing pains and these turning points in life. And then I was like, that's what my album's going to be about. It's going to be that. And yeah.
I hear that a lot. I mean, it's because it's so common that these bodies of art take years to put out, especially because everyone's self-making something. And when it takes years to put out, as you're going through it, you're like, I'm literally not the same person. And this doesn't reflect me.
Yeah.
And now it becomes this inner conflict of like, do I still include it in this body of work or not? Because, but I'm a big fan personally of like always include it. Always.
Right.
But I definitely understand there's both the emotional connection to it and then there's the technical side of like, oh, I've technically advanced so much further than this as a vocalist, as a producer, as a songwriter. And so, but I still think it's important to put it out. I still think it's like, because without, this sounds really corny, but it's like without the bad times, how do you know it's the good times, right?
I'm dead.
It's like, without your burn songs, how do you know?
No, it's so true. It is so true. I look back at some of the stuff that I've written and I was like, damn, that was like 10 years ago almost, it feels like. And I'm like, that song still hits for me. Will I release it? Probably not. But it's one of those personal gems that I feel like will always be there. And I can look back and be like, damn, that's how I really felt. Like,
I mean, bad example because she's a literal billionaire, but look at Swiftie, right?
Crying.
Look at Swiftie.
Yeah.
She put out her B-sides and like demos that were like 15 years old and it went like quadruple platinum and people ate it up.
Of course.
And granted, that's because, she just takes a shit and it goes platinum. But, it's still a point of like you put...
She said that, I didn't.
Yeah, like she's going to see this.
Yeah, whatever.
So you put your album out back in November. And what did that feel like? Like, how long were you working on it? You mentioned a couple years, but how long since you knew this is the album, this is what I'm going to put out?
Okay. Well, it was, I released Delusional Confidence, and then I released a couple other songs. Now I'm like trying to think, when was it? Okay. So I wrote this song called I Think I Am. And I was like, damn, I think I'm getting really good at writing. Like, it was like this weird confidence shift I had in myself that I was like, yeah, I'm going to make an album. I think I can write well enough now after all these years of writing that I can do it. I know people. I can work with people. And honestly, I was like, I'm getting older. I'm not going to just like waste my time, saying like, oh, I could have done that. Like, I'm one of those people that doesn't want to be like 50 and was like, oh, I regret not doing this. Like, I just want to experience and I want to create. And then in like a year and a half, I finished it.
Wow. And
it was me being like, okay, let me go through my burn folder. Let's see what I like. And then I was like, Favorite Stranger is one of my biggest singles from the album. It's the most listened to track on there. It's great. It's sexy. It's a story that I made up, but was kind of like based on like meeting the love of my life. And that was written like 4 years. That was written during the pandemic. Oh my God, 6 years ago. We don't talk about that. I just got so scared. Wow. Yeah.
What's that process like for you? I mean, I've always been curious about it. As someone who's like, okay, you've been with your husband for 11 years.
Yeah.
How do you write songs that are as open and vulnerable and like sometimes explicit as they need to be to tell the story you're trying to tell, without him feeling some type of way about it, by being like, either is this about me or who is this about? You know what I mean? What's that balance like? 'Cause I'm not married, so I gotta know. I don't know.
You know, that's so funny. Unpopular Opinion is a great example. That song I wrote when I was in LA last year with my friend. And I was like, you know what? I never wrote about that ex. I'm going to talk about that guy. But I was like, I also don't, I'm not like Taylor Swift in that sense where I'm like, here's all the Easter eggs and you're going to know exactly who it was. That's just not me. I don't do that. But I was like, I want to write about one of the hardest parts of my life where I was so young and vulnerable. And I was like, oh, love sucks. Maybe it's just me, you know? And then switched into writing a song about the person I ended up finding because I was hurting so much. And he was kind of like there. And when I told him that the song was about someone I knew, and he was like, damn, that's crazy. It's such a good song. And I'm like, okay.
I thought you were just going to leave it. I thought you were just going to leave it at, damn, that's crazy. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell me he's like a New Yorker or something without me just being like, damn, that's crazy.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Move on. Flip the channel.
He just, I don't know. I feel like it's funny because he'll like hang out with his friends. He'll be like, yeah, the song's about me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like he loves to say it. And it's so funny. And they're yeah.
I've never had a song written about me. That's got to feel some type of way. You ever had a song that you know of written about you?
No.
Yeah, that's got to feel.
Gosh.
First of all, he's got some work to do.
I'm crying. Yeah.
I've created a homework assignment for him. But no, like thinking on it, to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever had a song written about me. That must feel some kind of honor. I mean, unless it's Taylor Swift, some kind of honor.
I think like a lot of the songs that I've written that are really about him that he also loves are the ones where he's like, oh, I remember how you felt that time. And then we can talk about it. And Someone So is one of those songs for us that is like, you know, I don't know if he really like listens to my music. He's like, yeah, I listen to you. Like, I'm like, he's like, I'm gonna get you those streams. I'm like, okay, sure. Just please stop playing it on repeat because it's so embarrassing. But he's like, oh yeah, like I didn't know you felt that way. So that's also cool to like hear that he has to kind of like, I really had to dig deep into my past to write that song. That song was written like years after when I experienced it. So interesting, very interesting.
So just based on your music style and your vocal style, I'm going to assume your music is layered to hell and back. You're probably Stackiana Jr. Do you ever get burnt out in the recording process, or does it motivate you more the more you keep returning to a project and building on it and seeing that finish line get closer?
Oh my God. I don't think I ever get burnt out when I record vocals, like background vocals. I get really, really, really like into it. And sometimes I'll send the session to my producer, whoever's going to mix it, and they're like, great. It's like so many sax. I'm like, love you, I'm sorry, thank you, bye. And no, I think when it comes to the lead, I can get very particular, and I learned this over the few years. My vocal delivery and my performance when I actually record has changed a lot. I used to kind of approach it where it was like, it needs to be so perfect. And now I kind of don't. Yeah. Because I think that I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I had to learn how to let go of that a little bit. And I discovered that when I did, I was really able to create something I loved. And I learned that also really, really a lot in my album, in creating that.
Well, you kind of just answered this, but my follow-up is going to be, are you the type to actually put a project down willingly and be like, oh, like this is, I see a finish line? Or do other people have to like, be like, Abby, this is it. It's done. Like it's done.
No one looks at my files. No, it's funny. I'll be in a session, and with Nat, for example, and I'll be like, "What do you think?" And I'll be like, and he'll be like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "That was perfect." I was like, "Really?" Because I feel like I could have just done this. He goes, "No, stop. It was really good." I'm like, "Can I just do one more take?" And he's like, "Sure, of course you can. Of course you can. You're the artist. It's like, whatever." And it's funny because he's known me for so many years, and so I think it's I feel bad for him sometimes. But
I wonder, because the session we did together, there was a live audience. So if you fucked up, that was it, right? There's no going back.
Totally.
I didn't notice any, but if you did, I'm just saying. But I wonder if also when I said that, Michael shook his head in the background and went,
no,
because there were no mistakes. But
Okay.
I wonder if we were to do like a private session with you without an audience, if you would be like, "Can I get one more? Can I get one more? Can I get one more?" Or if you would just kind of be like, I mean, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, I think about that.
I thought about it. I did think about it because I was texting you a while ago, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do this Christmas thingy," and then I realized like, "Oh, the song's not even done, so I should probably wait." But I'm working on a Christmas album, and I was like, "Huh, what's it gonna be like to be filmed, recorded, from start to finish?" Like, they're not gonna comp that. I think it's just gonna be one thing all the way through. I was like, I must slay this performance. I must slay it. So I don't know if I would stop. I think I would just keep going and accept it for the way it is, so people can experience it as if they did if it was live.
That's our whole ethos. So
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
So tell me about this Christmas album. It's real. It's happening.
It's
How
real,
far
it's
along are we?
It's so not far along. I wrote one song, and then I also made the list of the songs. It's gonna be like an EP. But,
Okay. And what actually
yeah.
inspired it?
Speaking of Mariah, I am such a big Mariah Carey fan. I might not know a lot of her stuff, but I know enough to know that I am obsessed with her. And I think "Obsessed" was actually written about me, but it's fine. She wrote a Christmas album back in the 90s, and I was a kid. Did she? She won't let anybody forget it. And it was all my parents played. Like, it was that, and it was just always there, and of course they played other things, but it was my favorite because it was just so many vocal runs and just her agility, and I obsessed with it ever since I was a kid. And then of course I was like, who is this lady? And then I just discovered the rest of her music, watched her music videos, repeat.
Do you take influence from her as like overall, like as the way she carries herself and her whole like stage personality too, or is it really just her music?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that says a lot about you if you're like, I must diva the way that she has divaed.
Clearly I'm not divaing. She would pull up with like diamonds and like a nice bodysuit, and I'm just very kind of tomboyish.
Well, you have to tie it to her state. I don't think 90s her would have pulled up with diamonds. I don't think she had access to diamonds. So you just have to think in stages of Mariah. Like, what stage of Mariah are you in?
Wow. I mean, I don't know. Mariah was, I don't know. I think people adjust to the environment that they're in. I think because the more and more famous she got, the more and more like, guys, it's me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm like, I'm very down to earth, but I also am very artsy. So I love working on making things like very creative. So when it comes to like my music videos and all that stuff, sometimes it feels like it's very different than like who I am on a day-to-day basis. And I have this short film that's going to be coming out soon for the album. And I'm like wearing this dress thing I made. And I'm literally wearing like nothing but this fabric. And it looks like I look so Indian. I really do. My dad would be very proud. But yeah, it's like this crazy, just sheer, beautiful, highly reflective fabric. And I was like, I would never wear this in public, but I'm doing this for the sake of the visual. Like, I love this stuff. I love videography. I went to photography school for
Did
like
you?
a year. I know. I got like my certificate in it, and so I've always loved the arts. And if someone's like, I have this crazy idea, let's try it, I'd be like, okay.
So what I'm hearing is you should hop on Seawall Sessions as a videographer one day. You
Yeah.
should hop on one of the cameras.
Yes.
And we should do some
You
stuff
should.
together. I think you
Same.
might like it, really.
Honestly, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wonder what's that like for you as, I mean, this is the longest conversation we've ever had, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it literally is.
so I don't know you that well.
Right.
But you seem like someone who is very down to earth and kind of self-aware. You know, you've mentioned like your confidence or lack thereof in your pep talks many times. So what's it like for you to, even like for music videos, to have to like turn that on and be some figure, be like a sexy being in a silk
Yeah.
dress, what's that like? I don't know. I don't have to do that.
You're like,
The
okay,
most I
I'm
have to do
behind the
is
camera
sit here and like take a shower for this podcast.
Take a
And
shower.
I did shower, and I lint brushed my sweater because my dog's hair is all over it. But yeah, I don't gotta be like sexy in some dress.
Right. You know, it's funny. Sometimes I'm a little bit like, oh, that did not feel me at all. Like I get like this like wave of like, whoa. But I'm like, but I chose to do it, and I really wanted to. And it's just this weird thing that I don't know if it's like expectations or me just trying to stand out. I think that's also another thing too when you're an artist and you know I don't know how much I want to reach like the masses, right? I just always wanted like a following or people who can really relate to what I'm creating. And I thought, oh, you know, like I love visuals, I love art. And I was like, one way I can do that is also finding a way for people to connect visually to what I do and kind of show and tell a story through them also hearing what I create, like my music. So tying those two worlds together is a way for me. And sometimes I'm like, okay, that was a lot. But in my short film is interesting. We kind of create this like duality, like this dual world where one is like this crazy version of Abby, and then the other one's like me in overalls.
So this is like a narrative. It's not like a doc, or
It's kind of like clips of each song from the album.
I see.
But
just through seeing that
stories.
behind the scenes of you get to see that contrast between your stage presence and you in overalls. Yeah, it's funny because I think too about like, there are some artists who play the game. There are some artists who absolutely don't play the game at all. Like they're like, you know, I'm not doing marketing. I'm not doing social. You probably will find 5 Google images of my face, right? Like there's artists who are really like, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah.
Right. You ever seen Bon Iver do a red carpet? You ever see, right? So
I'm like, I don't even know how he dresses.
I don't even know what he looks like. I don't know.
No, he's
I think of
great.
the album cover art, which is a doodle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, isn't it like polka dots? Okay.
So
love it.
But so like that being said, I wonder if you know, even for you as well, if how much of that is like, am I stepping into a character that I want to play, or am I stepping into a character that I think I need to play,
right,
in order to like get to the levels of notoriety and success that I want? And that even goes into like, that stage present. Like if I'm wearing a dress that it doesn't necessarily feel like me, like why am I doing it?
No, exactly. And I think it's nice because, like, for example, the outfit I wore at the Seawall session we did is very me. Like, I would wear that if I was, like, out in the streets
that,
or something.
By the way. It was giving, like, 90s.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I loved
even the jacket.
it.
Your jacket was so cool.
Thank
you had, like, this,
you.
like, vintage bomber, like,
Yes.
multicolor retro. It was awesome.
It's a men's coat from Bloomingdale's outlet. I found it downstairs in the basement of Bloomingdale's.
Who let you in the basement?
Bloomingdale's did. I've got connections. No, I love that jacket. I wear it all the time. And I also did kind of, I think being an artist is very hard because you kind of, for me at least, I worked so hard on the stuff that I was creating, and I was like, this is really difficult, like marketing myself and trying to get people to listen to it, running ads. And I was like, oh my God, ads are so expensive these days. And it just became this like pile of things that I should do to kind of get my music out there, apart from shows. Shows is another thing, you know, gigs is another thing. And I was doing that. And I, more in the recently, like I've completely stepped back from all of that. And I do run ads here and there because I have some stuff that I was like, all right, whatever. But I have been very off social media, like in a way that, like before I used to care so much about what I was posting and like it needs to be curated. And I have people emailing me every single week, like, we need to work together and I'm from this label and like, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, and then we get on a call and then it's like, do you have this money to run, like, to work with us? We're a marketing agency and all this. I just need to tell people, like, I understand they see what I see in myself. They see it too, which is nice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I care so much more about the music, and I've recognized that through creating my album. It really was like a big moment for me where I was like, this is my album release party and that's it. And I just, my dream of making an album happened.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
I wanted to go to so bad.
Oh,
and
I know.
my girlfriend, I think, got COVID or something.
Oh,
and then
yes.
I had to, anyway. But, like, it was on my calendar.
Yeah, I know.
And then I couldn't.
Your team was there.
My team?
so
Which
sweet.
ones?
Was it Joe?
Was it just Michael? It's my
Like,
team.
Wait a minute.
My
No, it was Joe. There was Joe. I think Joey was there.
Oh,
Jade?
Joey Milano?
Yeah, and Nia.
Whoa.
I think Nia was there.
Oh, yeah,
Aren't
Nia
you
was
right?
texting me. Yes.
Yeah.
Nia
So
was
beautiful.
texting me.
Yeah. They showed up and they were like, she wouldn't be here, but she's not here. I was like, it's fine. I'm like so happy you guys are here. It was an amazing night, and I felt so grateful. I still feel really grateful for having been able to like believe in myself to do that, and now I'm not like in this like I need to be recognized. Like I'm like, I'm just gonna create, and it goes back to what you said before. It's like, do you really need to do all the glitz and glam and whatever? And I'm like, no, I really don't. And I love that I've kind of leaned away from it and have been finding myself a lot more and just removing myself from expectations.
Yeah.
Of what, marketers are trying to say. You gotta.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's actually even kind of a pitfall to overselling yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely. To over, like, representing yourself as, like, you're at this next stage, which is great in some ways, but then you get these emails from, do you have $50,000 to put towards a demo recording?
I'm like, do you? No, then stop talking to me. Like, stop.
You should just, like, start responding to emails. Like, if this is going to request any type of currency from me, please direct yourself to the spam folder.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, someone did reach out to me recently, and I had a call with them, and they were so sweet. They were saying all these amazing things, and I was like, look, I literally, like, I just can't. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful, it's like a female-led label, which was cool. I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. Like, you know what I mean? But I was like, I'm working really hard on the stuff that I'm doing right now, and I have this whole strategy. Like, I still have, like, this rollout strategy that I'm trying to accomplish, which is kind of a reverse waterfall. I'm releasing all this songs from my album as singles that didn't get released as singles prior to the album being released. And literally Misplaced was released yesterday as a single. I forgot to tell the world about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't see that yet. I didn't see that, Abby. I'm actually gonna put it out there. I didn't see that.
It's there now. My photographer took so many photos at my short film shoot I did back in May for the album that were just like recycling. Is so many beautiful images from that thing that I'm like, I could use this for the life, like my rest of my career.
Yeah.
So, just trying to get my music out there, and I'm liking the process of creation right now more than anything in the world. So
If it makes you feel validated at all, I found you through, I think, like one of those ads that you ran on Instagram or something.
no way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I've told you this, but I have accomplished this really cool thing with my algorithm, which is that the way that you, a normal person, might scroll through and every 4 things you see is an ad for like a vacuum or whatever,
Oh wow.
I see musicians. I only see musicians. I do
Whoa.
not get served products, which is fucking incredible.
That's
first of all, but
wild.
also overwhelming because I
Yeah.
want to reach out to every single one of them, and I'm at the point now where I just have like 10,000 saved posts. I go, oh, I'll hit that one later. Oh, I'll hit that one later. I cannot open my phone without being served musicians.
Being served.
I will still take it over a vacuum cleaner, but the point being,
Knives, pots and pans. Yeah.
I do need new pots and pans. But the point being that, I was served Abby Helms, which, I don't know, hopefully makes you feel validated only because it can
does.
sometimes feel like you're just throwing money and time and effort into a black hole.
It does
And
sometimes.
I've found so many of the artists that we've done on Seawall through Instagram.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's great.
hope that helps.
No, it does. It makes me feel better. Sometimes when I'm like feeling depressed, I'll just run an ad and I'm like, okay, that's better. I didn't post anything today. That's totally fine. I'll just run a little ad for like $5 for 2 days.
I'm gonna cut. That's gonna be the social clip.
Yeah, you're
like, to
welcome.
advertise the podcast. All right,
Yeah.
so it's about that time we start wrapping it up.
Okay.
So you've got a short film on the way.
Yeah.
You've got all these singles coming out now.
Yes.
What big picture? What can folks expect from you, and where can they find your stuff?
Okay. I've been writing. I've been doing some songwriting. I wrote this song called Cutting Ties, which I plan on releasing hopefully soon. Self-produced. I am trying to keep it that way, but I'm also like, I want to find some really good musicians out there that might want to like play on it. So that's something that's in the works that's going to come out hopefully really soon. And then my Christmas album. And you guys can find me on all platforms. I can run another ad if you want and I'll just push you off a cliff into my music. And I'm on Spotify, Apple Music. I'm literally everywhere.
Really everywhere.
Can't not
Like Mariah
Find me.
Carey. All I want for Christmas.
is Abby Helms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really nice. I've really had a lot of fun getting to like sit down and have a proper conversation with you.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you're much more like silly and bubbly than I
so
thought.
am.
Yeah.
No,
I think maybe it was your nerves. I don't know, but you presented yourself as like much more like subdued beforehand. Like, I mean, chill,
Yeah.
still down to earth,
No.
But just like, I just wasn't expecting so silly.
No, I am. I'm a middle child. Like, ask anybody in my life, they'll know I'm a very goofy person, but I can be really, really, really chill. Like, I can be very fiery.
Nice.
Also spicy. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. I'm not even a lefty.
Like, that was so dumb. Okay.
All right, bye. I gotta figure out how to end these things. I don't know how to do it yet.
You should have like a dance,
All right, it's all you. Go. You're not in any of the cameras. You're just.
Oh no, you just saw the tip of my butt.